Hello, Mudd Flapp here. Today I'm going to review one of my latest purchases here at the ranch. The Sun Welding Safe Company Renegade RS-36 Gun Safe. I've been shopping around for gun safes for the last couple of years looking to replace my 20-year-old steel gun cabinet with something a little more substantial now that we're kind of living out in the woods. Had a couple of requirements for a gun safe. One, it had to be affordable. Two, it had to be the biggest one that I could get that I could afford without having to take out a second mortgage. I had shopped all the big box stores here locally, and I actually had my mind set on a Canon safe that they sell here at the local Tractor Supply. That one was 24 inches deep by 40 inches wide. I believe it retails for $9.99. They regularly sold that one for $7.99, of course, plus tax. Here in Mississippi would have busted it up to another $8.60 or so. This gun safe came in right at $1,000. That was shipped to the house and everything. And this is definitely a more substantial gun safe than the ones that they sell in the big box stores. This model from Sun Welding ends up being 36 inches wide, 60 inches tall, and 28 inches deep. The difference between this and some that I was searching on the big box stores like Tractor Supply, those are 24 inches deep and 40 inches wide. If you do the math, this one ends up being just a few more square inches of floor space, but plenty big enough for my need. The big difference in this safe and the others is the fact that this safe is a little bit sturdier on the steel. This one comes in about 300 pounds heavier than the Canon. It does have 12 gauge sides, back, top, and bottom. Big difference is the door is actually 3/16 plate steel versus the big box stores. Those are going to be the usually 14 or 16 gauge sheet metal that's bent to look like a big door, but they're really not. So I think this one, all in all, is a little bit better deal. I placed the order for this safe at the end of March. It was in the local area ready for delivery in about June 20th, so it's about a 3-month lead time to get this. The good thing about that is they started building the safe with a small deposit of I think $300, and then you can make payments as they're building it. Your final payment's not due till they are ready to put it on the truck. I actually made my final payment the day they put this on the truck. So one thing you'll have to consider if you order from Sun Welding or any other online safe retailer is how you're going to get the gun safe moved around. Again, this isn't light. It's about 750 pounds. I have a tractor with a front end loader and pallet fork, so I was able to pick it up at the road and set it in my shop with no problems. They do ship it bolted down with 2 bolts to this wood pallet. It's wrapped in this light foam and then covered in a cardboard box. You can see a little hole there in the corner of this cardboard box where I did have a little bit of shipping damage. Again, that's on the shipper, not necessarily on the company that made the safe. It's going to be hidden on my safe, so it wasn't even an issue with filling out all the paperwork. I've got about a dime-sized chip of paint missing. I'll put a little touch-up paint on that, and we'll call it good. This foam that they wrap it in is pretty thin. I'm not sure. I guess that's to keep the box from scratching the paint on the gun safe, but it really doesn't offer a whole lot of protection, especially on the corners. The finish on this safe I could best describe as adequate. It's in line with the entry-level safe. It's a matte charcoal, dark gray with some lighter gray flecks in it. Doesn't look bad. It's not going to win any beauty contests, but it's in line with the price point on this safe. I did have them go ahead and drill an electrical access hole, which if you look is basically just They took a drill and drilled a hole through the side of the safe. Didn't realize at the time they charged me an extra $10 to do that. Probably would have done it myself. I chose to go with the mechanical lock on this safe just because I've worked with enough electronics to know that eventually they're going to fail. Let's have a look at the inside of the safe. This is what they call the easy out combo, with the shelves on the left and the rifle rack on the right. They did include this pistol rack. It's a 5-gun rack. I think they normally charge $20 for that. Definitely wouldn't have paid $20 for it. I would have made one in my shop first. Got some better video coming up in a minute with a little bit better lighting to see the interior, but it's the standard MDF shelving covered with some pretty thin fabric. Here we can see with a little bit better lighting, have pretty much infinitely adjustable shelves throughout. About the only one that's not adjustable is the this one here, which is the middle, which is where your rifle rests are. The door has 5 movable bolts. I believe they're 1.5 inches. They operate fairly smooth. No hang-ups or glitches that I can see. There are none on the top or bottom, and there are 5 stationary bolts, also 1.5 inches, on the hinge side of the door. Not too worried about the lack of bolts on the top and bottom. I think if you're going to pry this door open, I don't believe that those would slow you down much. The rifle rack on this has provisions for 17 rifles. I believe it would hold 17 scoped rifles with no problem. I decided to go with the big red mechanical lock, which is S&G knockoff. Works as it should. 3-number combo dial. Turn it back to 0 and spin it to the right and it opens. Didn't notice any problems with it. It does have the day lock feature, which is, I guess, kind of handy. The key will actually lock the dial wherever it's at. So if you have it open, you can lock it so you can't spin the dial, but it will still turn the bolt. And if it's locked, you can lock it so that you can't spin the dials to undo it. I guess this would be an added safety feature, but it will let you use just the key to lock and unlock it if that's what you want to do. Probably not recommended because that lock is not nearly as secure as the combination. This safe has external hinges, which is basically 2 pieces of pipe with a pin in the middle that will allow you to lift the door off if needed. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the quality of the gun safe I bought from Sun Welding. Fit and finish is on par for the price point for this safe. It's definitely not something that you're going to park in your living room and make it the center point of your interior design, but for parking it in a closet, I think it's definitely suits my purpose as well. The ordering process went fairly easy. A few things that I'll talk about towards the end to watch out for. Did have a little bit of shipping damage I discussed earlier. This is it. This side of the safe is going to sit against the wall, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. We'll put a little touch up on it just to make sure that corrosion doesn't get to my steel. The quality of the welds, especially this top back one, you'll probably can't see it on the video. It's a little rough, just the grinding. But again, that's going to be back up against the wall. Shouldn't affect much. One of the quality issues that I had with this safe is that it shipped with drywall dust all over the inside. You can see on the bottom here, it looks like they had a shelf laying there when all the drywall dust was kicked up. My guess is that they drilled this access hole after the safe was already finished. So if you're in the market for an entry-level gun safe and are considering one of the larger ones from the big box stores, I think you should definitely give Sun Welding a look. Did have a few issues with the ordering process that I didn't really like, but I guess that's just the cost of doing business. They had a special that they offered free shipping. Well, then come to find out the free shipping was only to a terminal, and they wanted to charge an extra $150 to get it delivered to your house. I negotiated that and ended up for an extra $20. I got them to deliver it to my house with liftgate service, which I thought was reasonable. But make sure that you price out what you want from them, and then make sure and hold them to that. Again, they're a small business and they're trying to make money, and I understand that, but just watch that they don't nickel and dime you. Still a little bit miffed that they charged me $10 to drill an ugly hole in the side of my safe. And I think they could have used a little more care, not getting the drywall dust all over the interior. Nothing that my shop vac won't take care of, but again, buy something like this, I don't think you expect to have to clean the construction residue off the inside. Overall, I'm still happy with the purchase. I think this is a much better deal than anything that you would get at one of the box stores for a safe at this price point. I think you could spend a little more. This is definitely not a Fort Knox or a Liberty type safe, but for the money, it's pretty hard to beat. And in full disclosure, I am the actual purchaser of this gun safe. I received no compensation or consideration for this review. Published it just to help you out if you're considering making a purchase from Sun Welding Company. Again, I would give them definitely 4 out of 5 stars, just because of the couple hiccups that we had with the ordering process. And a couple times I just felt like they were trying to nickel and dime me a little more than they should have. And I am Mudd Flapp, coming at you from the deep in the woods of the DeSoto National Forest. I'd like to thank you for watching my review. I will be posting a few more reviews here in the coming weeks whenever I get time on some different products that I have. I like to give real no BS reviews from somebody who's actually purchased the products for use on their farm or ranch. Thanks for watching.